Price of a Rose. Chapter 5. I successfully tear off the boards covering the window. First, I was afraid someone would hear, but they really didn't consider I could have been in this room the entire time. All I have left is to break the window and try climbing my way down without falling. Before I fling a chair at the glass, I realize the window is not a window at all but two doors. More importantly, the doors aren't locked. I hop with delight before I run out onto a balcony. Daylight is falling, so I can make a run for it by the time I get to the barrier. Looking down at the ground, I see spirits searching below. None of them are looking up, and most head to the front of the castle while I am at the back. "Good luck," someone says behind me. I panic as I turn around, but then I relax when I see Fern standing by the enchanted rose. "Oh, Fern. Please help me." She comes closer, looking down at the long climb I would have to survive. As I plan to. "I may be unable to fly you down there as is, but I can possess one of these objects." "You would do that?" I say, touched by her offer. "What about becoming a part of the barrier?" She smiles. "Like I said, I would rather do something right than stand idle as my final act." "All right then, I'll take your offer," I say. She nods and turns into a purple glow, flying towards a chair. The once still chair comes to life and hobbles over to me. Slowly, I sit on it and then it jumps onto the balcony's railing, leaning forward. I grab onto the armrests, staring at the ground below. Fern? You can fly as a chair, right?" I ask, still leaning forward. "Fern?" Then we drop. Thankfully, my screams are sucked right out and cause no alarm. Just as I'm about to plunge right into bushes, the chair leans back the other way and starts to slow down, but definitely not enough to stop me from dying. However, the bushes below grab onto the chair and halt it. My heart pounds as the bushes set me down on the ground. I stand up, my legs shaking. Then Fern appears from out of the shrubbery. I make a tiny squeak, realizing she possessed the rosebush. "You said you were going to fly me down." Fern hushes me and whispers, "I know, but when we were leaning forward, I realized that carrying you down here would be difficult. I was there the entire time so I could slow you down, but then, at the last moment, I finally chose to switch over to the bushes. I'm a middle-aged woman who overestimated her strength." "You could have killed me," I say, still shocked. She waves a finger. "But I didn't." Fern's smile dies as she gazes at the plants ahead of us. She points to them, drawing my attention. By this time, the barrier is inactive. However, spirits will be in those bushes at the edge. If you can get past them, then Master is the only remaining threat. Ned and I will distract them as much as possible. "Now run!" She transforms into a cat and dashes away. I follow her lead, making it 2/3 of the way before being spotted. I keep running as spirits shout out for Beast Shane. When I get to the edge of the grounds where the bushes are, I can hear him in his beast form sprinting after me, but he is far enough behind that I still have a fighting chance. Like Fern warned me, the spirits take control of the bushes. They attack me, scratching at my arms and legs, but I break through. Just as I leave the castle grounds, one bush wraps itself around my ankle, tripping me to the soil. It starts to draw me back in, but then a spirit dog appears and bites at the bush. The bush lets go of me instantly. Quickly, I stand up, now covered in dirt mixed with my blood. I run for dear life. The only thing that can possibly stop me now is Beast Shane. I know I can't outrun him, but I can hide. And if I find some light, that will be even better. The worst part is that since I didn't leave from the side I came in, I am still determining where I'm going. For now, the forest is my hiding place. Once I run out of breath, I slow down and search for somewhere to settle. I worry that Shane will easily track me since he is a beast. I set that fear aside for now while searching for someplace to hide. That's when I spot a river. If I remember Danny's book correctly, his main character flees from an asylum. People thought he was crazy because he spoke of an evil creature hunting him down. Like that character, I too am being hunted by a wild, horrible creature. But this man knew how scent worked. If he crossed some water, the beast couldn't follow his scent. Hearing Beast Shane coming closer, I go for it. I run into the river, trying to swim to the other side. The river moves quickly, so I only get a little distance in. When I glance behind me, I see his eyes. They are not the winter gray like when he is human, but they are a glowing crimson. He watches me wash away downriver. I decide that the river is my ticket out, so I grab the first large piece of driftwood I see. Finally, I slow my breathing as I watch him disappear from view. Now I am free. All that remains is finding my way back home and forgetting this happened. I decide my dream is fake and that I am not the girl he thinks I am. I wait a bit longer before trying to get out of the river. Knowing he is a spirit at night, I don't want to take my chances. So I float along the river, which calms me and soaks my tired muscles. Once about an hour or two passes and I reach a shallow part on the other side of the river, I get out. I rest down in the grass and chuckle. I force myself not to get too cocky because I'm not entirely safe. Freedom never means that one is safe. It's time to find somewhere decent to sleep, and then I can go home. Through about 30 minutes of walking, I find a little cave. It only extends a little, but it is more than I need. I curl myself up in a ball and rest. For many moments, my eyes cannot close out of fear of every single sound from outside the cave. Soon they give way and shut. "Hey, pretty. Wakey, wakey," a man's voice says. I jump and slide away from whoever has disturbed me. My eyes adjust to the morning light as I squint at the man. He has yellow-stained teeth and smells of sour milk. "Gentlemen, look what I found us," he shouts, licking his lips while he stares at me. My heart can't handle being kidnapped for the second time in a row, even if it isn't a demon this time around. Thinking back to my escape yesterday just gives me confidence that I'll be able to easily outwit whoever these people are. Besides, I have a threat to provide them with, a very truthful one at that. "Sir, please. Whatever you're thinking, you better think twice about it. I have just escaped from someone else. A beast, if you will. Without a doubt, he's still tracking me. He might give up the search for me within a couple of days. But I'm warning you, if you kidnap me, it won't be pretty," I say. He snorts as 3 other men come down into the cave. "You're a terrible liar, noblewoman. Judging by your nice dress, you merely got lost in the forest. That's all there is to it." He spits at my feet and says to the other men, "Let's load her up." I try to break away, but it is no use with all 4 of them. They take me out of the cave and place me in a cart inside a wooden cage, which they lock me in. Then 2 of them sit up front to drive, and the other 2 sit in the cart to watch me. We head off and come upon a dirt road that leads out of the forest. I sigh. At least this is better than the haunted castle of Effa. I can hurt these men if need be, while spirits aren't so easily defeated. However, this cart does draw attention. I might have been bluffing, but I hope Beast Shane gave up before dawn. As we bounce along the road, we come to a sudden stop. I turn around to see what is happening. In front of us stands a young man in a dark blue cloak. My heart pounds as I circle my fingers around the cage. He is relentless. "Go as fast as you can," I say to the men. "That's who I warned you about." The group leader silences me and shouts, "Boy, get out of the road or I'll run you over." I tighten my grip on the wooden bars, looking at the men who are in the back of the cart with me. Please let me go. He wants me. And he won't stop until he gets me. One of the men leans forward and says, "Look, sweet cakes, there's 4 of us and 1 of him. He ain't doing nothing but asking for us to kill him if he don't move." "Not until you give me the girl," Beast Shane shouts back. "I'll even offer you a deal." "I'm listening," the leader says. Beast Shane holds up a bag and dumps gold coins and jewelry out. "If I beat all of you in a match, then I get the girl. If I lose, then you keep her and all of this." "It's a deal," the greedy man proclaims. "Come on, boys, grab your swords." The men laugh as they hop out of the cart. I stand on my knees and shout, "It doesn't matter what you do. If he loses now, he'll come during the night. Don't do this." I shake the cage as I try to get them to listen. "Shut it, girl," one of them barks at me. The 4 of them walk out to the beast, their swords drawn. I watch as Beast Shane smiles coldly, his hand reaching his side. I haven't seen him use a sword before, but something tells me this isn't going to be pleasant. I have to escape. Undoubtedly, the road leads to a village, which I hope has kind-hearted people. Thinking back to when I shook the cage, I believe if I can shift it close enough to the edge, I can tip it off the cart and break it. I wait until the fight begins so the men are all distracted. Beast Shane pulls his sword out and the battle commences. I shift the cage, keeping track of what is happening behind me as well. By the time I get halfway, one of the men is already down and wounded. I work quicker, and when the second man is down and 2 are left, I tip the cage over. Breaks with a loud thud. To my surprise, only Beast Shane notices since he faces my direction. He increases his strength, now battling against the time it takes me to escape. I brush the broken cage pieces off and run back into the forest. The last thing I see is the beast knocking the last man out with the butt of his sword. He won't stand there for long. My only assurance this time is that he can't change into a spirit during the day. However, he is also much closer to me than last time. Running through the forest while keeping track of the dirt road, I try to confuse a beast that has proven to be a better hunter than I believed. Before I know it, he dives at me, knocking me to the ground and inflicting more war wounds. I struggle to get away from him, kicking and clawing with my nails. Soon, his knees press against my legs and his hands hold mine down. You should stop all this before you get yourself killed, Beauty. I am not your Beauty. And I am not your Arabelle. That dream is fake. And you certainly don't love me. I spit at him. He smiles, now knowing I was in the room listening to them the whole time. Then he tilts his head and asks, "Well then, do you love me, Beauty?" "No. Just let me go. You're out and about now. Go find yourself someone else to give your affection to. 'Cause I'm not changing your selfish behavior to break your stupid curse." He laughs. "Is that what you think has to happen? Oh my, you still don't know the half of it, Beauty." His mouth gets closer to mine. I turn my head away while closing my eyes. He whispers in my ear, "Someone has to love me and I them eternally." My eyes open again, surprised by this new information. Now I know the whole thing. In order to break his curse, someone has to love him for who he is and he has to love them in return. This moment, that's entirely impossible. Standing up, he yanks me to my feet. "Let's go." With my legs free, I stomp on his feet, a classic girl move. My efforts are in vain as he takes a hold of me and tosses me over his shoulder. I kick and scream, but he acts like none of it hurts. "I won't stop trying to escape," I wheeze, squirming off his shoulder. "I'm not going to love you. I told you that already, and I'm telling you again." He keeps walking, adjusting his hold on me. "You sure haven't changed one bit. Even with your mind wiped." "Ack," I slump down, my arms dangling like a rag doll. How can anyone possibly say they love someone when they lock them up and hunt them down when they escape? Suddenly, my body plummets back to the ground, bruising my butt. Then Beast Shane sits right next to me. If I try running, it will be another failed attempt with him so close to me. So I sit there, rubbing my bruises and scars. "I'm sorry," a small voice says. I gawk at him to see if it really came from his lips. "I'm sorry," he repeats, "that I couldn't change before all of this. If I did, then you might have agreed the first time. I was a beast then, and I'm still one now." When he turns to look at me, I glance the other way. I don't want to see his fake tears. This is all fake. That's when I hear a tear of fabric and feel a bandage being wrapped around the worst wound on my arm. I still don't face him. He sighs and stands again. Then he extends his hand. I get up on my own without taking it, but he grabs my wrist anyway. After that, we don't speak for the rest of our journey back to the abandoned castle. We reach it at nightfall, so the barrier gives us no trouble. Once inside the castle and as he locks the door, I tell him, "Just so you know, if you won't let me leave, then I'll make sure you don't condemn another girl. No one will ever return your love, Beast." When I turn away from his now red glowing spirit, he says, "I've known that from the beginning." "Beauty."